Fox Sports.
We are Black Horse. We are Ron Regan.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers against the New York Mets. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Thursday evening to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to the final game of the four-game series, also the final meeting of the year between the two teams, and so far it's been all New York. Not only have they beaten the Dodgers 5 out of 6, they have swept the first 3. The question is, have they ever beaten the Dodgers 4 straight in a series? The answer is never accomplished. What about in New York? The answer is never accomplished. So, for Terry Collins and the Mets, trying to do something against the Dodgers they have never done since they came alive in 1962. And what a night it could be. Dylan G, 8-2 on the mound for New York, and Clayton Kershaw, 8-4 for the Dodgers. Here we go, Game 4, and we're back with it right after this.
LA has lost 5 in a row, the 4th of 4 against the New York Mets. We're trying to sweep a series for the first time ever in Los Angeles. Take a look at your Hyundai key to the game. Clayton Kershaw would be making his first All-Star appearance. His last start of the first half tonight, he is tied for the Major League lead with 138 strikeouts. What a first half it's been for him. 8-4. Jim Watson, Steve Lyons in center field. Can we expect more of the same in the second half of the season, Steve?
I think you can expect better from him in the second half of the season. I think he's just starting to hit his stride as far as the way he pitches. And I think this Dodger team would have to play better. It would be hard to play worse in the starts that he's had. When you look at it, you saw the numbers up there. 2 walks, 32 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. He's had 3 shutouts in his last 7 starts, or 3 complete games in his last 7. 2 of those shutouts. I mean, if you don't get excited when this guy takes the mound, then you're not a baseball fan. There's going to be a lot of people here watching him tonight, and I think he'll go out and have another great start.
During the pregame show, you mentioned his last start against the Angels when he got rocked for a season-high 7 runs. You said, throw it out.
You know what? The greatest pitchers in the game don't have their best stuff all the time, and, that was just kind of an aberration for him in his last start against the Angels. He comes back a little stronger after a game like that. I think tonight's going to be great.
Clayton Kershaw, the lefty, against the righty and the rookie, Dylan Gee, for the Mets, who got a no decision against the Dodgers on May 7th. Enjoy it.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Thursday evening to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium. The Mets and Dodgers about ready to bang heads in their final meeting of the year and the final game of a 4-game series. It's meeting number 7. The Mets have won 5 of 6, and they have won the first 3 games of this 4-game series. And, of course, the big question was before the game, when was the last time the Mets swept 4 from the Dodgers in one series? And the answer is never. Not here, not New York. So Terry Collins, who labored long and well in the Dodger organization, now comes back to try to sweep them. His lineup reads this way. Angel Pagan in center field, Justin Turner at second base, Carlos Beltran in right, Ronnie Paulino is the catcher and hitting fourth, Jason Bay in left field, Daniel Murphy at third, Nick Evans at first, Ruben Tejada, the shortstop, and Dylan Gee on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw is 8-4, 3-0 in his career against the Mets. Last year he beat the Mets here at Dodger Stadium 1-0, and he has held the opposition to a .217 batting average. Clayton Kershaw's last appearance before the All-Star break. And talking about the All-Star break and the New York Mets, they look at a solid line of opposing pitchers, starting with Kershaw tonight. Then they'll go to San Francisco, and they'll get All-Stars, Ryan Vogelsong, Tim Lincecum, and Matt Cain. Then the All-Star break, and then the Mets will have the Phillies come in, and they'll look at Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, and Cole Hamels. So the Mets really have, in the next 10 days, they're going to see 7 All-Star pitchers. Leading off now is Pagan, and the left fielder shows bunt, takes low, ball 1, and we're underway. Angel Pagan hitting .256, 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Kershaw right back with a fastball, and that banged into left field for a base hit. So Pagan a single to left, and the batter now will be Justin Turner. We'll take a look at the Dodgers with the leather, and they shape up this way. It's Gwynn, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. The infield of Uribe, Carroll, Miles, and Loney. And the battery would be Navarro and Kershaw. By the way, Jamie Carroll playing shortstop tonight. Nothing wrong with Rafael Furcal. Don Mattingly just wanted to give him a day off after having played 4 straight. 79 degrees here in the ballpark as Turner checks in at the plate. Pagan, a very good base stealer at first, and the pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. Justin Turner had 2 hits last night, 1 in the first inning, which didn't mean anything, and 1 in the 9th inning, which meant a great deal. His base hit in the 9th inning made it 5-3, so that when Matt Kemp led off, there was no way he could tie the game with a home run. The strike 1 pitch, and Justin takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Turner went to school at Cal State Fullerton, and he's hitting .268, 2 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Pagan over at first base, a very successful base stealer. He's stolen 16 out of 20. So Kershaw, left-handed, looking right at him, and decides to go over there, and Pagan goes back to the bag. Just starting. One thing, a huge difference between the 2 teams, and the reason why the Mets are trying to sweep 4. The Mets, with runners in scoring position, are hitting .357, and they've knocked in 14 runs. Kershaw delivers high, and Turner goes after it. That was up around his eyes. 1-2 the count to Justin. The Dodgers, meanwhile, with runners in scoring position, are hitting just .118. Boy, you talk about somebody trying too hard, going after that pitch. 1-2 to Justin Turner. Out of his stretch goes Kershaw. Again looks over at Pagan. Very deliberate. There goes Pagan. The pitch is swung on and missed. Bad throw. And into second base easily goes Pagan. Navarro almost threw the ball into right center. And Turner helped out by swinging at yet another bad pitch in the dirt. So Turner had a very poor at bat. A great play at the bag by Aaron Miles to prevent the ball going into right center. So Turner strikes out. Pagan winds up with a stolen base, meaning he has stolen 17 out of 21. And now the heavy hitter, Carlos Beltran and Ronnie Paulino. Beltran hitting .285, an all-star for the 6th time. Check swing foul, and the count 0-1. Carlos Beltran, 13 home runs, 57 runs batted in. He had 2 doubles last night, and that's really been a big part of the Mets attack. They've had 9 doubles in the 3 games. Just starting, 1 out, Pagan at second base, and Beltran waiting at the plate. Kershaw ready, a look back, and a pitch at the plate, and works it low. For Clayton Kershaw and Carlos Beltran, Beltran is 0 for 4 against him with 2 strikeouts. So the 6-time All-Star waiting at the plate, trying to pick up Pagan from second base. Out of a stretch goes Kershaw. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's in the dirt. Nice block by Navarro. 2 balls and 1 strike. A couple of things on the line tonight in the first inning. Number 1, the Dodgers lead the majors in least runs allowed in the first inning. They have not given up a run in the first inning since Wednesday in Minnesota. And in the bottom of the first inning, it'll be a problem for Dylan G. He's allowed 10 runs in the first innings of games in which he has pitched. 2-1 pitch now to Carlos Beltran, swung on, and a fly ball into left center, very playable. Coming in and over his swing, but Kent's the captain out there. Matt makes the catch. So Pagan has to hold at second. And with 2 out, the big catcher, Ronnie Paulino, coming up. Paulino is in the lineup for a lot of reasons against a left-hander. For instance, against Ted Lilly, he was in the starting lineup because he was hitting .500, 8 for 16 with 2 home runs. Against Kershaw, he's 4 for 9, hitting .444. Though Paulino has been risen to the occasion on some tough left-handers, and Kershaw wants to talk to Navarro. For the New York Mets, they have made it official. Jose Reyes has been put on the disabled list, which means the all-star shortstop, who had been selected 4 times, will not be able to play. It could also have been a protective measure for Terry Collins and the Mets. They certainly didn't want to lose Reyes for months, and he might easily have had that had he torn the hamstring. Kershaw ready and delivers, and the pitch to Paulino in for a strike. Ronnie hitting .333. He has a home run, 10 runs batted in. Paulino had been with the Pirates for a while. No balls and 1 strike. Kershaw again from a stretch. First inning, no score. Paulino takes at his feet, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. We can duck in a score. The Braves beat the Rockies 6-3. Rockies are really hurting. They not only lost Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki for a while, they also lost Charlie Blackmon, who took over for Gonzalez. He broke his foot today. The pitch is low, ball 2, 2-1. The Padres, they'll be here tomorrow night. They're scoreless with the Giants, just really starting. Corey Lubke and Barry Zito. Zito, by the way, 0-6 against San Diego over the last 2 years. 2-1 the count. Kershaw deals, fastball on the hand, swung on and missed, and that balances the books. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Mets hitting .357 coming into the game with runners at scoring position. Have had Beltran fail to pick him up, and now a 2-2 count to Ronnie Paulino. Kershaw in quest of his 9th win, out of a stretch, and the 2-2 pitch, and Paulino takes in the dirt, ball 3. Hitting back of Paulino is the left fielder Jason Bay, and against Clayton Kershaw, Bay is 0 for 8 with 3 strikeouts. Kershaw beat the Mets here last year 1-0. Clayton out of his stretch. Pretty good lead from Pagan at second base, and Paulino fouls the next pitch, at off-speed breaking ball. 3-2 the count to Ronnie Paulino. Paulino for a little more than 2 weeks trying to pick up Pagan now. He's hit almost .370. So he's been red hot. The 3-2 pitch, Kershaw's fastball is swung on and missed. That might have been out of the strike zone. It was certainly borderline. So Turner swung at 2 pitches that weren't close to the strike zone. Down goes Paulino, and down go the Mets in the first inning. up a base hit. Mets failed to score. We'll take a look now at the Dodger lineup, and it goes this way. Gwynn, Carroll at short, Ethier, Kemp, and Uribe at third. Loney, Miles at second, Navarro behind the plate, Kershaw on the mound. We really have a Texas two-step tonight with Clayton Kershaw going up against Dylan G. They're not too far apart. Outside of Dallas for Kershaw and outside of Fort Worth for Dylan G. Leading off is Tony Gwynn, batting .241. G's fastball sinks at the knees for a strike, and the count 0-1. Dylan G won his first 7 as a starter. He is 8-2, 4-0 on the road. Off-speed change, and he's got a great change on the outside corner, and the count 0-2. So we've seen the best pitch he has, which is that marvelous changeup. Right-hander ready from the first base side of the rubber, barely making contact. He's right on the edge. Gwynn waiting, and the strike 2 pitch on the way. Fastball, little flare to center. Coming over for it is Pagan to put it away. And just like that, 1 down. But take a look at the Mets defensively. They go this way with Bay, Pagan, and Beltran in the outfield. The infield of Murphy, Tejada, Turner, and Evans. Evans just called up. Behind the plate, Ronnie Paulino handling Dylan G. And now Jamie Carroll hitting .303. Carroll, who started last night at second base, wound up with 3 hits, including a bunt single. Dylan G ready, right-handed deals, fastball strike, and the count 0-1. G is an interesting story with 1 out here in the first inning. Carroll waiting. G turns, ready, and comes back. Off speed, missed inside. 1-1. When he was 16 years old, he was a sophomore in high school. He was 5'2", and he weighed 95 pounds. 1-1 pitch, ground ball wide at third, diving stop by Murph, who throws him out. That's the second fine play by Daniel Murphy on a ball hit wide of third base, and a scrambling stop, and then he gets up and throws his man out. So with 2 down first inning, and Andre Ethier coming up. Ethier, after that good play by Murphy, taking his time before checking in. If you don't know the news, Andre did not clinch, so as of the moment, he's not going to Phoenix. Shane Victorino of the Phillies was the 1 player of the 5 voted to go to the All-Star game. So Andre hits a soft line drive. It times up a 1-hopper, and it's thrown out by Turner. So the Dodgers go very quietly in the first inning, and at the end of an inning, the Dodgers nothing and the Mets nothing. the Dodgers in order and made that great pitch of his, the changeup for a strike to Tony Gwynn. That'll be something to watch all night. Meanwhile, Clayton Kershaw working on Jason Bay, and the pitch is low, ball one. 1-0. Bay 0 for 6 in the past against Kershaw, and he struck out 3 times. Right hand hitter backs off, and the pitch is low, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Jason Bay last night went 0 for 4. The night before, remember, he had 2 home runs. Now the 2-0 pitch to the right hand batter, and Jay, it's a ground ball to the hole by the diving Jamie Carroll and on out into left field. So that's the second leadoff man to get aboard. Pagan opened up the game with a base hit. Now Bay follows suit, and here's Daniel Murphy. Jason Bay at first base is another fine base stealer. Remember, the Mets are number 1. They've stolen 86 bases, and Bay has stolen 8 out of 9. So here's Murph hitting .298, 5 home runs, 35 runs batted in, left-hand batter. Time for the moment. Jason Bay at first, and Kershaw about ready now to hook up with Murphy. Murphy has never faced Kershaw, vice versa. Left-handed delivers, and it's low, ball 1. Murphy showing bunt. 1-0 the count. Murphy followed by Nick Evans, and Evans has just joined the club. Lucas Duda was playing first couple of games at first base, and it'll be Evans. Duda, meanwhile, leaning on the railing alongside of Scott Hairston. 1 ball and no strikes. Kershaw back with a pitch that finds the mark. 1 ball and 1 strike. Meanwhile, disconsolate Jose Reyes on the DL, can't play in the All-Star game. He's a kid who loves to play and will just have to stand aside, and enjoying a great year, hitting .354. 1-1 pitch, a little dribbler by the mound, over to get it and make the stop at second as Miles throws to first, and they get the double play. So a slow roller that just did elude the mound, and Miles turns it into a DP. Coming over to help was Jamie Carroll, but there was no play needed there, and Loney made a good backhanded short hop catch of the off balance throw to first. So 2 down here in the second inning, and the batter now is Nick Evans. Evans, following in the footsteps of Andre Ethier, hits a little one over the mound. Here comes Miles again and throws to first. So Nick Evans, who was born in Glendale here, lives in Phoenix and grew up over there, really didn't give us much time to tell the story. And at the end of an inning and a half, no score. On Uribe and James Loney in that order, and Dylan G delivers fastball off the plate, ball one. Matt Kemp hitting and having a huge year, hitting .324 with 22 home runs, 64 runs batted in. The next pitch finds the mark for a strike. So Kemp, then Uribe and Loney. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Matt. Working off the first base side of the rubber. The next one swung on and missed. Off speed breaking ball, and the count 1-2. We were talking about Dylan G. When he was 16, he was 5'2" and 95 pounds. In his sophomore year, he grew 8 inches. Fastball away. Though as he stands on the mound here at Dodger Stadium, he is now 6'1" and 195 pounds. Dylan works quickly, comes right back to Matt Kemp, and that swung on, line drive right at the shortstop. That would be Tejada at the other end of it. So we have 1 down, and Uribe coming up. You know, Sunday, July 24th, Dodger Cap Day at Dodger Stadium. The Nationals will be here at 1:10. All fans receive a blue and white Dodger cap, compliments of Amtrak. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promos or call 866-DODGERS. Uribe, the right-hand batter, checks in. He takes low, ball one. Uribe last night grounded out twice, had a scoring fly ball and a single in the 9th inning. He had 2 runs batted in. Big swing, beats it foul into the dirt, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. One of the big thrills in Dylan G's young life, he was about 5 years old. His dad took him to see a ball game, and Nolan Ryan pitched his 7th and last no-hitter. That was in Arlington, Texas. The pitch is inside and hits Uribe. So Uribe will head to first base. 1 out, 2nd inning, no score. And Uribe is not ready to come up. The other night, you remember, Aaron Miles was nailed on the elbow. For Uribe, he has been hit 6 times. That's tops on the Dodgers squad. But you remember, the Giants hit him twice. Though he started off the year on a sour note. And now Dylan G nails him. And he's going to hang in there, bite the bullet, and go to first. For G, that is the first batter that he's hit this year. So Uribe at first with 1 out, and James Loney coming up. Talking about Nolan Ryan pitching the no-hitter at Arlington, Texas. You know, no Mets pitcher has ever thrown a no-hitter. Not one. And when you think of some of the finest pitchers the Mets had, Tom Seaver, Jerry Koosman, et al., John Matlack, they had some dandies, but no-hitters. G bends at the waist, looks in as Loney waits at the plate. Dylan set, a backward glance at Uribe, and Loney has a look at a pitch low. Ball one, 1-0. Couple of things about G as a pitcher. In the games in which he has started, the Mets are 11-2. That makes him a particularly successful starting pitcher. His personal record is 8-2. Right-handed comes back high to Loney. And that runs the count now in the hitter's favor. 2 balls and no strikes. G deep in thought. If that name G rings a bell for you, it figures you are either a student of the game or you have been around a while. Dylan ready, checking Uribe, back to Loney, and he's low again. So for a fella coming in with a reputation of having good control, he's behind 3-0. His control is not that good in the sense his strikeout to walk ratio is not 2-1. So he's had to fight it. Right-hander's 3-0 pitch to Loney is taken for a strike, and the count 3-1. There was a pitcher named G who pitched in the National League, pitched for the Pirates and the Giants. Johnny G. He was 6'9". So Loney waiting on a 3-1 count. 1 out. Uribe at first base. Second inning, no score. And the pitch is a shot back to the box. Backhanded by G, who then throws it into center field. By the time Pagan picks it up, there are runners at first and third. So 1 minute, Dylan G made a good play to stop the ball, only to throw it into center field. So the Dodgers get a big break. With 1 out, they have runners at first and third. I must say, anybody in the ballpark listening on the radio, the scoreboard right now is hopeless. It does not have the count. It has the outs wrong, so we better back off and see if whatever is wrong with it. But we do know that's an error charge to the pitcher. And with first and third, the Dodgers with a chance have Aaron Miles up there. So Miles coming up to start his at-bat. It says 2-2 on the scoreboard, which is a tough count to inherit. Though Miles hitting left-handed, and the first pitch outside, ball 1. 1-0. Now left-hand hitters have hit only 176 against G. However, he has walked almost as many left-hand hitters as he has struck out. G straightens up. Now comes to the plate. 1 ball and no strike. Swung on and missed. Boy, they really got the scoreboard out of whack. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. By the way, Loney is going to be credited with a base hit off the glove of the pitcher, who then threw it away. So first and third, 1 out, second inning, no score. G out of his stretch. Right-hander ready, and Miles swings, lifts a fly ball to shallow left. Coming up for it is Bay, tagging Uribe, the throw to the plate. He is safe, and it looked like Paulino had tagged him out. Woohoo, here comes Terry Collins. It sure looked like he made the tag, but Greg Gibson says no, and Paulino can't believe it. He walks away, and Terry Collins is livid. Well, we can take another look. Here's Paulino backhanding the throw, and he's got him dead to right on the leg. So umpires make mistakes, don't we all? And the run will come in, and for Greg Gibson, a difficult and a poor call. For Gibson, in his 13th year in the big leagues, he's from Ohio. He went to the University of Kentucky. He umpired the 2008 All-Star game, so he's been around. Collins is getting angrier by the minute, and Gibson is trying to keep him in the game, and now Terry turns and walks away. But it was missed without a doubt, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead. So they've been very fortunate. With 1 out, Uribe is hit by a pitch. Loney hits a ball off the pitcher's glove, and he throws it away. Miles hits a fly ball. Uribe certainly looks like he's out by a lot. Paulino tags him long before Uribe's left foot touched the plate. So Collins had a great argument, but as usual, you'll lose it to the umpire. And the batter now is Deona Navarro, and he takes a strike. On that throw to the plate, as Uribe scored, James Loney advanced to second base. So the Dodgers get a break and lead 1-0 in the second inning. Out of his stretch goes the right-hander. G comes back and misses low and away. His control is bothering him here in the inning for sure, and he has a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Normally, pitch counts are very important for G. He's made 26 pitches right now, 25 right there. He's averaging 82 a game. And the next pitch way outside. So 2-1 the count. So G is laboring. Looks in, getting a sign. Dodgers getting a lot of outs in the inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. G out of his stretch, looks back at Loney. The pitch is fouled away, and the count 2-2 to Deona Navarro, hitting 173, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. So G having some trouble in the second inning most of the time this year. He's had trouble in the first. There goes Loney to third, but the pitch is swung on and missed, and the third out is finally in the books. So the Dodgers are very fortunate. They get a run, and by the way, Gibson looking over at the Mets dugout, and there might be more fireworks. It's 1-0 Dodgers, end of 2. As we go to the third inning, it'll be Ruben Tejada, then the pitcher Dylan G, followed by Angel Pagan, who's the leadoff man. So Clayton Kershaw going to work. Dodgers 1 run, 1 hit. The Mets no runs, 2 hits, and an error, and a big one it was by Dylan G. Ruben Tejada, the 21-year-old shortstop, doing a wonderful job filling in for Jose Reyes. He's hitting .266, 18 runs batted in, and he has certainly impressed throughout the 4 games. He had a double last night. He walked a couple of times the game before, and he had 2 singles in the first game. Right-hand batter, and he takes high, ball 1, 1-0. Tejada waiting, and the next pitch is swung on line to left, but it's right at Tony Gwynn. So Tejada hits it hard, lines to left, and we have 1 away, and Dylan G coming up. 1-0 Dodgers, 1 out in the third inning.
Pitcher number 35.
G followed by Angel Pagan. Dylan with the bat hitting .043. He has 1 hit, a single, and he has struck out about half the time. They've made a correction, and it's a good correction. Remember, when Loney hit the ball back, it went off the glove of G, who then threw the ball into center field. They gave Loney a base hit, a highly questionable call. And now, upon checking, thinking it over, they have taken the hit away from Loney. Strictly an error, and that's a good call. 0-2 the count to Dylan G, who waves at a fastball. Down he goes. And we have 2 out, third inning, and Angel Pagan coming up for Clayton Kershaw, who came into the game tied with Roy Halladay for strikeouts. He now has 141, and he has passed Roy Halladay. He was tied with Justin Verlander. So 141. And it's Verlander, Hernandez, Shields, and then Halladay. 2 out, the corners are up. Pagan, right-hand batter, singled in the first inning, fouls the pitch away, and the count 0-1. San Diego, the Padres will be here. Bud Black's crew starting tomorrow night. Matt Latos and Chad Billingsley. Saturday afternoon, Ruby De La Rosa for the Dodgers. The Padres have not announced Saturday's pitch. That will be, by the way, on Big Fox. Then we'll be back on Sunday. Prime ticket, Tim Stauffer and Ted Lilly. 0-1 the count. Kershaw into the windup. Clayton delivers. Big overhand curveball. Oh, what a pitch. 0-2 the count. 75 miles an hour, and you could see that curveball in a snowstorm. Clayton ready. Turns on the rubber in the strike 2 pitch. Another breaking ball, but this one stayed up and in. 1-2 the count. The Mets trying to sweep a 4-game series. The last time they swept a 4-game series, they were at home against Pittsburgh last year. The 1-2 pitch is waved at and missed. So down goes Pagan. That would be 4 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw. And at the end of 2.5 innings, 1-0 Dodgers. Nothing. Youngsters with insatiable appetites taken in the game. And the first pitch to Clayton Kershaw in for a strike. 0-1. Kershaw with the bat. He's hitting .297 with 11 hits. Hits a little ground ball up along first. Evans will take it to the bag. And just like that, we have one away. You know, the Coca-Cola Value Pack is available for select Wednesday and Sunday Dodger home games. That includes 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes. Now, for all applicable games in July, you'll also receive a Dodger cooler bag with every ticket, starting at $20 per seat. For information, go to Dodgers.com/specials or call 866-DODGERS. So Kershaw rolls out, 1 down, and Tony Gwynn coming up. Tony flied to center in the first inning. Has been doing very well last 9 games. Had one off last night, but he's back in there and has a look at a strike on the outside corner. Remember, he saw that great changeup. It's a change that moves. It's a dandy. G turns and hesitates. Time called at the plate. 0-1. G right back with a pitch and drops it in there at 75. Just took a lot off it. It's amazing to see him hit that pitch for strikes all the time. We told you left-hand hitters were hitting just 176 against him, and I'm sure they've seen that pitch a lot. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, fastball, and that's hit into right field. So that's one of those amazing things. More no-ball, two-strike base hits, and usually it's on a fastball. I mean, in the old days, you never got a fastball 0-2. If anything, they try to hit the plate with the curve. But they go 0-2 fastball. Gwynn says thank you very much, and he has a single to right field. Now for the Dodgers, who like to run, and Gwynn runs. He has stolen 10 out of 12. Dodgers have stolen 67 bases. Jamie Carroll grounded to third in the first inning. Good combination for a play here. A contact hitter and a speedy runner. And the pitch to Carroll off the plate, ball one. A little while ago, we alluded to the name Johnny G, who played, in the 30s right through 1946. Johnny G, in 6 years in the big leagues, won 7 games. And here's Dylan G, has won 8 games right at the start of this year. No relation. The 1-0 pitch on the way, fastball flared to right field. On the move to his left is Beltran, and Gwynn must have lost sight of it because he's not even near getting back to first base, and he is doubled up. So a fly ball to right field. Gwynn runs into a double play. Frustrating moment for Mattingly. A very embarrassing moment for Tony Gwynn. By the time he realizes what he has done, he doesn't have a prayer. And at the end of 3, 1-0 Dodgers. For a limited time, Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. Dodgers lead 1-0 in the 4th inning. It'll be Justin Turner, Carlos Beltran, and then Raleigh Paulino up against Clayton Kershaw, who's allowed 2 hits, struck out 4. Justin Turner, born in Long Beach, went to school at Cal State Fullerton. He was the bat boy at one time for Cal State, and he takes a strike. Turner hitting .266, 2 home runs, 34 runs batted in. He had 2 seasons with Baltimore, but now a Met, and he takes very high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Turner, 26 years old. He'll be 27 in November. That's in there. 1-2. By the way, the Devil Rays and the Yankees tonight in New York, in the Bronx. And Derek Jeter had 1 hit, a double. So he's 2 hits away from 3,000. Bouncer speared by Kershaw and Young. Nice play, 1 away. Now Carlos Beltran, who flied to center in the first inning. The Mets, who have done very well with runners in scoring position, came up empty in the first inning. They had Pagan at second base, but they left him. when Beltran flied to center and Paulino was out on strikes. And the overhand breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Beltran 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts against Kershaw. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mets in the early going helped out. Justin Turner had a really rough at bat in the first inning, swung at one over his head and one in the dirt, and then Paulino swung at one over his head. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Kershaw working on Beltran and leading 1-0. We lost a Hall of Famer today, manager Dick Williams. 2-2. Dick Williams, who attended Pasadena High School, played with the Dodgers in 1951, played with them for a few years, left, came back for a year, went on to play among other places with Baltimore, but he is really a Hall of Famer as a manager. Check swing for Beltran, and he's going to be called out, and down he goes. 5 strikeouts so far for Clayton Kershaw. And with 2 out, Ronnie Paulino coming up.
Ronnie Paulino.
Dick Williams and Bill McKechnie, the only managers ever to take 3 franchises to the World Series. Williams' first year, he took the Red Sox to the series. Interesting, the year before, the Red Sox finished 9th. And the pitch inside, and it nicks Paulino, and Ronnie very slowly walking to first base. Well, Paulino doesn't say anything, but his body language seems to tell you that he's a little annoyed. He just looks out, chews gum, gets rid of the bat, and then slowly walks to first base. So, of course, if you're Paulino, you're saying, okay, great. Uribe is hit, and so I get hit. And your first thought, very human, why me? Well, a 2-out hit batter brings up Jason Bay. Kershaw set, doesn't figure Paulino will do any running. Left-hander looks at him, works the plate, chopper to Uribe, and they get the force on Paulino, who went in hard but legitimately at second base. So no runs, no hits, hit batter and a man left. The end of 3 1/2, 1-0 Dodgers. Before they're gone. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Time Warner Cable. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-0 Dodgers, and it'll be Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, and Juan Uribe. If you don't mind, we'd like to talk a little bit more about Dick Williams, former Dodger and a Hall of Fame manager, passed away today. Ethier grounded out in the first inning. Skies one down the left field line. Bay a long way to come, but he's here now. One away. We mentioned the fact that Dick, along with Bill McKechnie, took 3 franchises to the World Series. The Red Sox in '67, and then 2 in a row with Oakland, '72-'73. And then in 1984, he managed the Padres into the series and lost to Sparky Anderson. In that 1984 season came one of the famous quotes, certainly in Southern California, and it was uttered by Tommy Lasorda. Here's Kemp, line to short, 0 for 1, foul ball. In one of the games between the Padres and the Dodgers, the pitcher with the Padres, I think it was Ed Whitson, he hit a Dodger. And then when the Dodgers came up to hit or to field, they nailed Kurt Bavacqua. 1 ball, 1 strike. Immediately, Williams felt that it was a throwing contest. He growled at Lasorda. Lasorda growled back. And then finally, Tommy uttered the line of Bavacqua that was quoted all over the place. Ground ball to Murphy, and Danny pulls his first baseman off the bag, backed up by Paulino, and Kemp is aboard. Anyway, the quote that Tommy Lasorda made about Kurt Bavacqua, he said, Bavacqua, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And boy, was that an inflammatory remark back in 1984. It's going to be an error charge to Danny Murphy. Kemp is aboard with 1 out. And Juan Uribe will be the batter. Matt, of course, the big man for stolen bases. He's stolen 25 out of 28. Dodgers lead 1-0 in the 4th. Ball 1. Nick Evans holding first as Kemp takes his lead. One ball and no strikes. In the dirt. So the Mets have committed 2 errors. Dodgers got a big break on a call at the plate and lead 1-0. Dylan G, 25 years old, working on Juan Uribe, who was hit by the pitch and scored the run in the 2nd inning. 2-0. I would think Terry Collins should get a medal for mental discipline for not being thrown out in the 2nd inning. 2 balls, no strikes. Big bouncer foul, 2-1. Terry Collins was enraged and then all of a sudden pulled it all together and went back to the dugout on a play that obviously went against him. All part of the game. Greg Gibson saw it the way he saw it, and that's that. And ball 3. So on a 3-1 count, figures the Dodgers will run Kemp if nothing else. Among other reasons, the fact that Uribe has grounded into 10 double plays, and James Loney is on deck. We'll watch Matt. There he goes, of course. Missed at the plate. Poor throw and late. Turner in his haste to handle a throw and tag, and he really couldn't have gotten him. So it's a stolen base for Matt. He has now stolen 26. Paulino bouncing it because he was on his knees when he made the throw. As the glove is turned, the ball flies out. But I think Kemp probably is in there anyway. So 3-2 to Uribe. Matt at second, 1 out. Off speed, fly ball to shallow left. Bay comes up to make the catch. So that changeup fools Uribe. That is a wonderful pitch. Big thing, he throws it for strikes. So 2 out. And here's Loney.
First baseman, number 7, Loney.
One run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. And that was a scratch hit, as they used to call him. No runs, 2 hits for the Mets. Fastball, 0-1. Loney, since the end of April, all the pieces seem to fall into place. He's at .324 since the end of April. James, 4 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Tejada, pretty good fake, and G turns just to try and take a step away from him. 2 out, 4th inning, 1-0 Dodgers. Final game of the series, the Padres here tomorrow night. Fastball in the dirt, gets away from Paulino. G goes to the plate to cover, and Kemp will hold on at third. And that sure looked like a wild pitch, and it is. So for Dylan G, he lets one get away. That's his 3rd wild pitch. So some Texans involved tonight. G from just outside of Fort Worth. Kershaw just outside of Dallas. And Loney from Houston. And Matt Kemp down the line from 3rd. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a high pop fly into shallow right center. It'll be Pagan, and that'll be that. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. And at the end of 4, 1-0 Dodgers. Tonight, in the 1st inning, he took care of Turner and Paulino. Then in the 3rd inning, he nailed G and Pagan, and for good measure, Beltran in the 4th inning. And his first pitch now to Danny Murphy, and that's a strike. 0-1. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for the Mets in the 5th. Kershaw, 2 different pitchers. You know, he lost last time out in Anaheim. But at home, it is home sweet home. He is 6-1 at home with an earned run average of 1.9. On the road, he's 2-3 and an ERA of 4.9, almost 5. The opposition is hitting 184 against him at home. On the road, 80 points higher. 2-1. 2-2 the count. Murphy hit into a double play in the second inning. For Murph, the left side, big shoes to fill. Murphy playing for David Wright. And a little fly ball. Kemp started back. Here comes Ethier to help out, but then Matt says, okay, I got it anyway. But Matt was going the wrong way, and Ethier was ready to bail him out. So 1 away. And the batter will be Nick Evans. Evans just called up. He is from Phoenix. He went to the same high school that Andre Ethier attended. That would be St. Mary's High School in Phoenix. Interesting story about him. When they called him up, he had to get a 6 a.m. flight to Detroit, then another one to Denver. Got to the game, just about 2 hours before the game. He was lost. He had to get directions. Then they had to hurry up and give him a suit. And then he had butterflies, and he hit the first pitch he saw down the right field line for a double, and then went on to hit 2 more doubles. So in his first big league game, Nick Evans had 3 doubles. So he certainly fits right in with the Mets, who had 9 doubles so far in this 3-game series. He had a scholarship to Texas Tech, but he turned it down to go with New York. 0-2. Curveball, but low. 2 years ago, Evans was struggling big time. Started at AAA, couldn't hit a lick. So he saw a sports psychologist when they sent him down to AA. And as Nick said, it was a good thing. It was important to learn how to deal with failure. He's been battling to stay up since he first came up in 2008 with the Mets. Curveball got him. Well, down he goes. Strikeout number 6 for Clayton Kershaw. Well, we've gone from 16 to 2, the greatest moments in All-Star history. Go to MLB.com/moments. Vote now for your favorite moment. And then tune in for the All-Star Game Tuesday, July 12th at 5 p.m. on Fox to find out who won. You can see the 2 stars on the back of Clayton Kershaw. They're on the backs of Jose Reyes, Matt Kemp, and Carlos Beltran, indicating a star is born. Ball 1 to Ruben Tejada. Hit the ball hard, but right at Tony Gwynn in the 3rd inning. Ruben hitting .264, 1 ball and 1 strike. To repeat, Matt Latos and Chad Billingsley here tomorrow night with Prime Ticket. Saturday, Big Fox. That's a 1:10 game. That's Ruby De La Rosa. The Padres not sure of game 2. And then game 3 Sunday. We're back with Prime Ticket, Tim Stauffer and Ted Lilly. Ted making his own calculations. Been a rough time for him of late. Ball 3, Clayton. A high fastball that just took off. It was 93. 3-1. Tejada with 18 runs batted in. And a slicing foul ball down the line. 3-2. Dodgers trying to snap the Mets' 4-game winning streak by snapping their own 5-game losing streak. And with 2 out, Tejada gets the walk. The Mets have had 4 men get on base. 1 man has gotten to second. Kershaw with 6 strikeouts. That's his first walk. And here is Dylan G., who struck out in the 3rd inning. His numbers tell you he's not much of a hitter. He has struck out 50% of the time. And ball 1. He was guessing fastball, and he really started that swing and seemed to be ahead of a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. So he guessed properly. Couldn't hit it. Another one. Right at 93, back to back. One ball and 2 strikes. Tejada at first doesn't figure to do any running when the pitcher figures to be the 3rd out. Down he goes. So it's 7 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw. They leave Tejada, and at the end of 4.5 innings, it's still 1-0 Dodgers. Sit and Sleep. Save up to 50% with Sit and Sleep's independent sale. Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free. Tonight we have our trivia question with the Dodgers leading 1-0, bottom of the 5th inning. Who are the only 3 men ever to manage both the Dodgers and the Mets? And first ball hitting, and a 4-3 play, and quickly 1 out. So 1 away, and Deanna Navarro coming up. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Mets. So Navarro in the on-deck circle, but not ready to come up. In fact, Navarro has gone all the way back. Apparently, he can't get the donut off the bat. You know, the metal ring. In the old days, the fellas would swing a couple of bats to then make the one bat they were using feel so much lighter. Then they decided to come up with a weighted bat, and then finally they thought, wait a minute, instead of a weighted bat, let's make the bat you're going to use heavier feeling. So they put the metal donut on it, and then when you're ready, you take the donut off and you come up to the plate. Well, he couldn't get it off. Ball one. Navarro struck out in the second inning. On deck, Clayton Kershaw. And a fly ball, Jason Bay at the other end of it. 2 down. So Clayton Kershaw will be coming up with 2 out, bases empty in the 5th inning, and the Dodgers holding on to a gratuitously received 1 run. A very close play in the second inning. Greg Gibson, the plate umpire, made the call. Disputed by Terry Collins, and that's the only run so far in the game. Ball one. You realize the pressure on the umpires. Admittedly, every game is important, but take this game and put it in the World Series. Put it in the 7th game of the World Series and have that play. And you make the call, and then each inning goes by and you're thinking, oh my goodness, Uribe looked like he was certainly tagged without a doubt. Paulino thought it was a tag. Terry Collins thought it was a tag. Here's the play. There's the tag, and he's not on the plate. And yet Gibson saw it the other way. Umpiring is a very tough job. Sure, we can slow everything down, look at it 5 different angles. They have a split second to make the call, period. Little ground ball. That should be the 3rd out. Kershaw struck out only 4 times this year. And at the end of 5, it's 1-0 Dodgers. Day back in 1959, the All-Star game was played in Pittsburgh. The starting pitcher was Don Drysdale. He retired 9 in a row, struck out 4, and picked up the victory in his first All-Star start. But in those days, they had 2 All-Star games. The second one was August the 3rd here in the Coliseum. Wouldn't you know, Don Drysdale was the starting pitcher in that game, only this time he lost. A rare record indeed to go 1-1, 2 All-Star games in the same year. Let's go back to this one. Tough ball game building up. We have now reached the 6th. Clayton Kershaw has struck out 7. He has allowed 1 man to get to second base, and he's leading 1-0. For the Mets, top of the order, Pagan, Turner, and Beltran. Pagan 1 for 2. Joe's bunt gets that bat out of there. Ball 1. Angel Pagan hitting .258, 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in. And ball 2. 2-0. For Kershaw, he has hit a batter and he walked Tejada. Pagan, a good hitter, career average .285. Fly ball to center. Kemp is there. Well, 1 away. Remember the quick trivia question that we dropped on you? Who are the only 3 men ever to manage both the Dodgers and the Mets? Well, there was Casey Stengel, Davey Johnson, and Joe Torre. Stengel was the very first manager for the Mets, and they lost 120 games that year in 1962. An ex-Dodger, Roger Craig, lost 20 games that year. But you had to be good to be sent out there every 4th day. Casey Stengel, however, won 7 World Series with the Yankees, including 5 in his first 5 seasons. Casey managed the Dodgers, and it was the old story, like every manager that ever played the game, you're as good as your players. So quickly, 2 down. And here is Carlos Beltran, and certainly capable of getting even with 1 swing. But this time he pops it up. It will be mine. Boy, what a quick inning. A total of 5 pitches made by Clayton Kershaw after making 21 the previous inning. And he walks off leading 1-0. Tags the throw from Bay to Paulino. Paulino holds the glove out. Uribe has to run into the tag, except the plate umpire, Greg Gibson, says safe. And that's the difference. How Terry Collins was not kicked out was amazing. And we're in the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers. Foul ball, 0-1. G made only 8 pitches in the 5th inning as he's working on Gwynn, Carroll, and Ethier. They look bunt to the Mets. 1 ball and 1 strike. And ball 2. 2-1 to Tony Gwynn. Bottom of the 6th. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. No runs. 2 hits for the Mets. 2-2. G, off-speed pitches, working the corners, has struck out 1 in direct contrast to Kershaw, who has struck out 7. Two and 2. G coming into the inning had made 56 pitches. Now up to 61. 2-2 to Tony Gwynn. Fastball. And he got that to 91. So Dylan G and Clayton Kershaw in a great pitching duel. Kershaw made only 5 pitches in the 6th inning. He's made 70, but of course strikeouts take a lot of pitches away from you. 2-2. And that's going to be hit down the line. Base hit. Over to get it, Beltran. And holding on is Tony Gwynn. If you weren't with us the night that it occurred, we were talking about Carlos Beltran, 3 Gold Gloves. He had not made an error since a game here at Dodger Stadium in 2009. And that was a fly ball between Carlos and Angel Pagan. They felt that certainly it was Carlos's ball. He kept hollering for it. Pagan almost ran into him, and Beltran dropped back, and the ball dropped for a hit, but they gave him an error instead. And he went 2 years until the other night on a ball hit down the right field line for his first error. Gwynn goes, it's missed, and a really bad throw by Paulino. Wow. And going to third is Gwynn. So Paulino doesn't throw in the neighborhood. That thing way off the line and off the tips of Tejada. So it'll be a stolen base for Gwynn. And then he takes third on the overthrow. So far, tough night for Terry Collins. For the Mets, that would be their 3rd error. The infield has to play up. That makes Carroll that much tougher a hitter, and he's batting .300. Little slider, but he missed with it, ball 1. He used to throw a lot of sliders, then he gave it up, worked on the curve, the change, and the fastball. And tonight, before the game, he was going to go down to the bullpen and see if the slider would come back. Well, he just threw one to Carroll. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off speed, hit to Tejada, juggle, makes the play, holding at third with Gwynn nowhere to go. So now Andre Ethier followed by Matt Kemp.
16, Andre Ethier.
Ethier grounded to second and flied to left. Infield plays up. The outfield can't give any ground. They have to stay back. 1 out, 1-0 Dodgers, and a golden opportunity. If Gwynn isn't going to steal second, Carroll's ground ball might have been a double play. In the dirt, nice save by Paulino. G committed a wild pitch in the 4th inning. He's had 3. One to know the count. Gwynn at third. 1-0 Dodgers. Breaking ball and blow. 2-0. G coming into the game, as we mentioned, has done a very good job as a right-hander against left-hand pitching. And in the dirt. Pitching against left-handers They're batting only 176. But he also walks a lot of left-handers. And he's 3-0 to Andre Ethier. Gwynn at third, 1 out. 3-0, little foul ball, 3-1. Evans, Turner, Tejada, and Murphy playing up. And Ethier trying to pick up Gwynn. Andre with 42 runs batted in. Well, that's ball 4. Well, now Matt Kemp. G has hit a batter. Now he has walked one. And here's Matt. Line to short. Reached on an error. Matt Kemp hitting cleanup. So especially with all the runners the Dodgers have gotten on base, he has driven in 64, but he's also human. He is grounded into 11 double plays. So the Mets go back to a normal depth. First and third, 1 out. Fastball for a strike. Matt batting .322, 22 home runs, 64 runs batted in. Ethier did not figure running the bases. Off the corner, 1-1. Andre is 0 for 1 in stolen bases. Gwynn down the line from third is another matter. Gwynn has stolen 10 out of 12. And a couple of kids from St. Mary's High School over in Phoenix are at first base. Off speed. Boy, that change is dynamite. 1 and 2. Now what? Do you come back with another one of those great change-ups? Do you come back with a fastball? The count's 1 and 2. 1 out. Fastball, 2 and 2. He's now made 75 pitches. Two balls, 2 strikes. And line down the left field line. That was a fastball up. And Matt Kemp makes a very nice living hitting fastballs up. He drives in 2, and the Dodgers lead 3-0 on his double. So Matt Kemp got a pitch he could handle up around the letters, and he just drove it into left field. Nothing wrong with the pitch, but the location was bad, and G pays for it. As Matt drives in 2, and the Dodgers have a somewhat comfortable 3-0 lead. And the off-speed pitch misses. It's also, let's face it, a comfortable moment for Greg Gibson. He didn't want to have to be looking at the play at home plate for the rest of the night. 1 ball and no strikes to Uribe. Matt a threat to steal third with a right-hand hitter up, and Murphy deep enough at third. The door is open. Three runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. 2-0 the count to Uribe. No runs, 2 hits for the Mets. They have committed 3 errors. So Clayton Kershaw, something to lean on now. Paulino, Bay, and Murphy will be due up in the 7th. 2-0. Kemp doing everything possible to distract G. And if he thinks he has a jump, he'll go to third. 1 out. The job for Turner is to hold him on at second base. Meanwhile, G is ready to make his 23rd pitch of the inning. And it's going to go down the right field line, slicing away from Beltran. Bounce into the stand. Kemp will score on a ground rule double, and the Dodgers lead 4-0. So the Dodgers trying to return the favor against the Mets, who had 9 doubles in the first 3 games. And the Dodgers come back with back-to-back doubles. Kemp to left, Uribe to right. And it's a 3-run inning, and the Dodgers lead 4-0. Danny Warthen, the pitching coach, going out to counsel Dylan G. So for Matt Kemp, who doubled in 2, he now has 66 runs batted in. For Juan Uribe, he now has 28. Manny Acosta, right-hander, begins to throw in the Mets bullpen. Juan Uribe, who scored the run, the highly disputed run in the second inning, now is at the other end to drive people in. And the Dodgers 4 runs, 4 hits. Mets no runs, 2 hits. And here's Loney. James reached on the error by G and fly to center, 0 for 2, hitting .276. Missing that outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Uribe at second, still only 1 out. That was a ground ball by Carroll with the infield up. And ball 2. G's pitch count is now up to 81. Dodgers trying to snap a 5-game losing streak tonight. That's fouled away. 2-1. Padres will be here tomorrow night. Matt Latos against Chad Billingsley. Saturday afternoon's game on Big Fox. Ruby De La Rosa. We're not sure of the Padre pitcher. And then Sunday we're back with Tim Stauffer and Ted Lilly on Prime Ticket. Giants lead the Padres 1-0 in the 6th inning. Colorado really struggling. They lost Troy Tulowitzki for a while. They've lost Carlos Gonzalez. Charlie Blackmon taking over for Gonzalez. Broke his foot tonight. So the Rockies have lost 8 of 11 and 5 straight. 3-2. Aaron Miles waiting on deck. Loney has struck out a little bit, maybe more than 10%. I don't think we've ever seen Loney ever argue. He's just surprised. The call looked late. He was going to throw the bat away and go to first. So James keeps his cool, and we have 2 down. And the batter will be Aaron Miles. For G, that's only his second strikeout. Miles trying to pick up Uribe. He's the 7th man to come to the plate in the inning. Fastball, base hit, and that's not cut off by Pagan. It'll go to the wall, and Miles to second, and he will hold there. Scoring is Uribe, and the Dodgers now lead 5-0. And it's gee whiz as far as the New York Mets are concerned. And Terry Collins coming out with a hook. Ball seemed to fool Pagan. 1 minute thought he was going to cut it off, and his route didn't take him to the ball. So that's the 3rd double for the Dodgers tonight against a team that has had 9 of them in the series. That'll do it for G. It's 5-0 Dodgers. G had a 30-pitch inning to make 86. And isn't that a cutoff number? And we'll be back. Lead and chase Dylan G. With 2 out. Manny Acosta from Colón in Panama. And for Dylan G, tough night. He's averaged just about every game 6 innings and 82 pitches. Tonight he lasted 5 2/3 and made 86 pitches, and he gives way now to Acosta. Acosta 6'4", about 175. 30 years old. Mets picked him up on waivers from the Braves. And ball 1. Last year, Acosta did a very good job against left-hand batters. They hit 163 against him. He's been up and down in the Braves organization. Came over to the Mets in 2010. Fastball fouled away. Nice crowd on hand tonight. Hope you'll be out here with us tomorrow night. Matt Latos, Chad Billingsley, and the Padres. Dodgers have come alive tonight with the bat and with runners in scoring position. They're 3 for 4 tonight. 1-1. Hard ground ball, fair ball down the line. They're 4 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Scoring easily is Miles, and on his way for 3, and in there is Navarro. So Gianna Navarro picks up an RBI. That run is charged to G. Ball well hit hard just inside the chalk. Beltran was way over into right center and then slipped and fell down. And by the time he retrieved it, Navarro had the extra base. So this is quite an inning for the Dodgers. 3 doubles and a triple. They lead 6-0. It's a 5-run 6th inning. And now Clayton Kershaw. So Matt Kemp had the double to drive in 2, then Uribe doubled in 1, then Miles doubled in Uribe, and then Navarro comes up with a triple. 1-1 to count to Clayton Kershaw. One ball, one strike. 1-2. Kershaw hitting .282. He has 3 runs batted in. Fastball grounded hard wide of first. The feed to Acosta. So down goes Kershaw, grounding out 3-1. But for the Dodgers, they hang a high 5 on the scoreboard and lead 6-0. Inning for Clayton Kershaw. In his 6 scoreless innings, he's allowed 2 hits, 1 walk. He has 7 strikeouts, and in his last 4 starts, 39 strikeouts and 3 walks. Magnificent. Clayton in pursuit of his 9th win. Remember, he faced the Mets here at Dodger Stadium last year and beat them 1-0. He is 3-0 in his career against New York. Now he'll have Paulino, Bay, and Murphy. Paulino struck out and was hit by a pitch. Ball 1. Navarro behind the plate with a big triple. His last triple was June 3rd, 2007. 4 years ago, Deanna Navarro was playing for Tampa Bay, and he had 2 triples that year, with the last one June the 3rd, 4 years ago. Dodgers 3 doubles and a triple in that wild 6th inning. Ground ball to the hole. Miles is on it and away. You know, a reminder, $1 Dodger Dogs are back. Join us for every Saturday home game in July, beginning this Saturday at 1:10. Enjoy the tradition of Dodger Dogs at Dodger Stadium for just $1 each. Compliments of our old pals Farmer John. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS today. One away, and here's Jason Bay. Bay single left, hit into a force play. The Mets have had one man get to second base, and that was the leadoff man, Angel Pagan, in the first inning. Single stole second. The Mets left him there, and they've not had the man to second since. 0-1. Big overhand curveball misses. 1-1. So the Dodgers dedicated to stop the Mets from doing something they had never done, sweeping a 4-game series against the Dodgers. 2-1. For Mattingly and Tim Wallach, a sight of the Dodgers and their offense, and a rare sight it has been. 3-1 the count. Kershaw hit Paulino and walked Tejada. Fastball, and he hits 93. That's his neighborhood when he's throwing the hard stuff. Jason Bay from Trail in British Columbia. And a fly ball to right center. Kemp is there. Looking back at your scorebook, you realize the Mets have not had a hit since the second inning, and they've only had 2 hits in the game. The leadoff single by Pagan, and then Bay's single leading off the second. Though for Terry Collins' effort to make 4 in a row, Kershaw has been quite a roadblock. And here's Danny Murphy. Right. Murphy is grounded out, struck out, 0 for 2. And that's going to be at over miles into right field. So Murph goes 1 for 3 with a single to right. And the batter will be Nick Evans, just called up. Nick Evans grounded out and struck out. 0 for 2. Young fellow who was born here in Glendale, California, and then really grew up in Phoenix. Foul ball. Went to the same high school as Andre Ethier. Ethier a wee bit older, Nick 25. Great first game in the big leagues. We told you that story. He had 3 doubles in his first game. That would certainly make him a Met. Fouled away. Kershaw has stopped them from the extra base hit so far. It was amazing the first 3 games. The Mets had 9 doubles. They have 156 doubles. 30 some odd more than the Dodgers. Mets have not only won 4 straight, they've won 10 out of 14. And the Dodgers were going the other way. Dodgers had lost 5 in a row and 7 out of 10. 0-2 the count to Nick Evans. Fastball off the corner. And that time, normally he's 93. He just hit 95. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6-0 Dodgers. Curve that didn't break. 2-2. Clayton now 83 pitches. Two and 2. Throwing that hard curve at 82. and Nick fouling them off. Meanwhile, Murphy at first, held on by Loney. 2-2 the count, 2 out, 7th inning. 6-0 Dodgers. Fastball. So the fastball at 94. Down goes Evans. No runs, a hit, a man left. And at the end of 6.5, Dodgers lead 6-0. Acosta, and we move on to the bottom of the 7th inning after 9 men went to the plate in the 6th. For Kershaw, made 17 pitches in that top of the 7th to give him 87 pitches for the night. So here's Tony Gwynn. He started that 6th inning with a base hit to right field, and then proceeded to steal second, take third on Paulino's overthrow, and come home on the double by Matt Kemp. Tony hitting .248. 0-1. 1-1. So the Mets, having faced Kershaw tonight, now go up to face Vogelsong, Lincecum, and Kane in San Francisco. And then when they're through with that, after the All-Star break, they'll face the Phillies. And they'll get people like Halladay, Lee, and Cole Hamels. So they're going to be looking at 7 all-star pitchers over the stretch of 3 teams. And for the Mets, they have themselves quite a challenge. They began the night 9.5 back of Philadelphia. For Clayton Kershaw, he has shut them down completely through 7. 2-2. And that's going to be a little pop fly into right field. So Tony, a little flare. He goes 3 for 4 in the leadoff role. I'd like to remind you to follow the Dodgers with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. You get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. So Gwynn at first. Now he stole second in the 6th inning. Here's Carroll at the plate. And ball 1. For Tony Gwynn, he has stolen 11 out of 13. Checking with Davey Lopes as he takes his lead. 1 ball and no strikes. When the game started, it looked like the Mets were going to be up to their old tricks. Pagan singled and stole second. So what Kershaw did was stop the running game by not letting many people get on. Because after Pagan stole second, they've not had a chance. And they only have 2 other hits. Two and 1 the count to Jamie Carroll. 3 hits last night, 0 for 3 tonight, and hitting .299. Andre Ethier, 0 for 2 with a walk, scored a run. And ball 3. Talking about the Dodgers and their running game, going back to the 21st of June, the Dodgers have stolen 24 out of 25. So they have been able to give clubs a dose of their own medicine, led by Matt Kemp, who has stolen 26. And that's ball 4, and the Dodgers at it again. First and second, nobody out in the 7th, and Ethier, Kemp, and Uribe coming up. So Acosta gave up the triple to Navarro. Now he's given up a single and a walk. And Danny Warthen going out to talk to him again. Andre Ethier grounded out, flied out, walk. They had him on videotape thanking the people for voting for him, trying to help him get to make the All-Star team. And as he summed it up, thanks a lot, and maybe next year. However, there might be a shortage of outfielders on the National League All-Star team. Ryan Braun, who has something like a 22-game hitting streak, but he's not playing lately. He's hurting. We know that Carlos Gonzalez has been down. Shane Victorino made it of the 5 instead of Ethier, but the door might still be open for an emergency outfielder. That's right. Andre hitting .314, 7 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Down in the pen, DJ Carrasco begins to warm up for New York. 0-1. Sprayed foul off to the left. Fastball at 94, and Andre 0-2. So Gwynn and Carroll out on the lines with nobody out. Ethier, Kemp, and Uribe trying to get them home. 6 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits for the Mets. One and 2. Acosta has only pitched a little more than 10 innings for the Mets. He's given up 4 home runs. And down and dirty, and Kemp doesn't get it. Andre walking away puzzled. Gibson looking at him and rolling a ball.
Number 27.
Take a look at that pitch. The breaking ball in the dirt. Let's watch Andre's bat. It goes all the way around. I'm not sure if it almost hit Paulino. And maybe that's why Giffey will look back to make sure the catcher was all right. Gibson, I don't think, liked the look back, and the plate umpire rolled the ball. Anyway, 1 out. The world will little note, no longer remember that at bat. 0-1 to Matt Kemp. Matt lined to short, reached on an error, stole a base, and then doubled in 2 in the 6th inning. 66 runs batted in, 22 home runs, and hitting .324. 0-1. One and one. Fastball at 94. So Acosta throwing hard. Acosta had been in 5 games and had allowed a run, just 1 in 4 of 5. But Navarro tripled to drive in a run against him in the 6th inning. Leona Navarro with a triple for the first time in 4 years. Something to remember. Two on, 1 out, 6-0 Dodgers, 7th inning. Almost threw that away at 93. So 2-2 the count. Good play by Paulino behind the plate. Acosta has walked 3, struck out 5 coming into the game. So now he has walked 4 and struck out 6, and Juan Uribe waits on deck. Two and two. Off the plate again. 3-2 with 1 out. Lined out, reached on the error, doubled in 2. Gwynn and Carroll taking their leads. Runners are not going, and down goes Matt. Chasing what appeared to be a slider down and away. 2 strikeouts. It's there, and then it's down there.
Third baseman number 5, Juan Uribe.
So Juan Uribe coming up, hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. Came around to score on a questionable play. Flied to left in the 4th inning, and then doubled in a run in the 6th. He's been busy scoring twice and hitting .211. Oh and 1. Gwynn at second, Carroll at first. 2 out, 7th inning, 6-0 Dodgers. Final game of the 4 with the Mets and the Padres here tomorrow night. 1-1. That was 97, but it's not working when it's that far out of the zone. Pull foul. 1-2. Hitting back of Uribe, James Loney. Time called by Polino. Off the plate. So he's throwing hard, 97, 96, but not in the strike zone. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Uribe missed 24 games on the DL. Also missed 14 more, so it's been a tough year. And a fastball at 96 puts him away. So Acosta winds up striking out the side. And Clayton Kershaw going to work, leading 6-0. Sixth inning, Clayton Kershaw getting ready to face Tejada, then Scott Hairston, and finally Angel Pagan. "87 pitches for Clayton, 8 strikeouts. Going to work on Tejada, who lined out to left and walked. Kershaw has held the Mets to 3 hits, 3 singles. Right. Clayton's high this year in strikeouts. He's had 11 3 different times. His all-time high 13 2 years ago against the Giants. 8 tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike. After 89 pitches, he still hit 92 on the gun. Tejada hitting .264. Foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got a little bit of it, fouled it off. Ruben is from Panama. He's a fellow who makes contact a lot in the minor leagues and in the big leagues. He's only struck out 25 times this year. He played and represented Panama in the World Baseball Classic 2 years ago. Lifts one foul and out of play, and the count stays 1-2. With the Mets last year, in about 250 plate appearances, he struck out 38 times. 21 years old. He'd be 22 the 1st of September. In the dirt. Shortstop, second baseman. They say he turns a very good double play as a second baseman. But with Jose Reyes on the DL, he's going to be playing short every day. Originally signed as a free agent 5 years ago out of Panama. And a hopper into left field. He's been impressive. He has done very, very well. And a leadoff single to left. The interesting thing for Kershaw, he's allowed 4 hits.
Attention, please.
3 of the hits to the leadoff hitter in the first, the second, and the 8th, and the other a 2-out single in the 7th. Scott Hairston is now coming up. He will bat for Acosta. Scotty hitting .241. He has 3 home runs, 12 runs batted in. His brother, playing over in the American League, suffered a broken arm or wrist being hit by a pitch. He hits a pop fly to shallow center, and Kemp will make it. Well, Matt Kemp, an overnight trip, and the ball high enough for him to finally get under it. And Hairston out to the center fielder. Worth another look. Coming, and backhanded. Fine play by Matt. 1 away. Tejada holding at first. Angel Pagan coming up. So 1 away. Pagan singled and stole second. He is the only Met to get to second base tonight. Since then has struck out and flied to center. Fastball at 93. That's Kershaw's neighborhood. 0-1. Clayton trying to win his 9th. Make him 4-0 lifetime against New York. 0-1. In the dirt with the breaking ball. 1-1. Jason Isringhausen, we saw him briefly. Game 2. Tim Burdick, a left-hander, down in the pen for the Mets. Tejada at first, doesn't figure to do any running, down by 6 in the 8th inning. In the dirt. Nice save by Navarro. Angel Pagan is the boy we mentioned earlier that has extraordinary eyesight. As a center fielder, he says if the catcher wiggles his fingers, he can read the signs. I mean, just look where Matt Kemp is. That where Pagan would be. And imagine looking in and reading the signs. 2-2 the count. This is what it would look like just about. If you're Matt Kemp or Angel Pagan, you're looking in. First of all, the pitcher is just about in your way. You could move over a step or two. How in the world can he read the sign? He's blessed. 2-2. and promptly bangs it for a base hit. So that puts runners at first and second and 1 out and brings up Justin Turner. And Pagan is 2 for 4. .100 pitches for Clayton Kershaw. His pitch count, he's had a high of 117, but that was way back early April. In fact, he had 122 against Atlanta in April. So a lot of pitching. 2 on, 1 out. Ball 1 to Turner. He's still throwing 92, 93. One ball and no strikes. Tejada at second, Pagan at first, 1 away. Kind of overthrowing that time, trying to get a little something extra. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Kenley Jansen begins to loosen up. Two balls and no strikes. Fastball, little fly ball to right. Ethier is there. So the runners hold. And we have 2 down here in the 8th inning. And the batter, Carlos Beltran. So you have Pagan with 2 hits. Bay has a single. Murphy has a single. Tejada a single. Dodgers 6 runs, 7 hits. And the Mets no runs, 5 hits. The Mets have been shut out only 3 times this year. Twice on the road, once at home. Ball 1. Dodgers have been shut out 9 times this year, 6 times at home. Rick Honeycutt's pitching staff has turned in 8 shutouts of their own. 1 ball and no strikes. Beltran trying to get the Mets back in the game. Ball 2, but certainly not one of his favorite pitches on the mound. Beltran came in 0 for 4. He has struck out once tonight, though he is 0 for 7 and 3 strikeouts against Kershaw. So a couple of all-stars bearing down here. 2-0. Fouled away. And there it is, 93 on the gun. Though despite all the pitches, 106 pitches right now, and he is still throwing same speed, 93. 2-1 the count to Carlos Beltran. And there goes the runner, and the throw to third base. He's in there. Boy, that's dangerous. 21-year-old Ruben Tejada stealing third with 2 out in the 8th inning, and the Dodgers leading 6-0. Well, you know, one of the biggest commandments in the game, never make the third out at third base. So he really rolled the dice and got away with it, because with Beltran up, Uribe was very deep at third base. So Tejada certainly surprises the Dodgers. And one other surprise, how many stolen bases do you think he has? You just saw it. Yeah, 1. And ball 4 to load the bases. So for Honeycutt, he'll go to the phone and see how Kenley Jansen is and how ready he is to come in. You have the feeling that Kershaw now is pushing it a little bit. He's made 108 pitches. on a warm summer's evening. Ronnie Paulino is due up, and Mattingly is going to come and get him. So Kershaw disgusted when he sees manager, but he has given up 2 hits and a walk. He's made 108 pitches. He's leading 6-0, so it's a job well done. And although he would like to go the distance, not this time. He has gone 9 3 times against Florida, Detroit, and the Angels. Now let's see. Maybe he will persuade the skipper that he wants to stay in. Ronnie Paulino is 0 for 2, and Paulino prior to the game was 4 for 9, hitting .444. Kershaw has convinced Don Mattingly he's got enough left in the tank, and the fans love it. Paulino struck out and grounded out, but he was also obviously annoyed, although he didn't do anything, but his body language told you. That's when he was hit by the pitch in the 4th inning. He felt, I'm sure, it was retaliation for Uribe being hit in the 2nd inning. As far as slams, he has 1. He was with Pittsburgh, and he hit it against the Cardinals. Ball 1. So the Mets trying to get back in the game, have loaded the bases with 2 out. Dodgers lead 6-0. Tejada at 3rd, Pagan at 2nd, Beltran at 1st. 109 pitches made by Clayton. Fastball fouled away, no play. Sellout crowd tonight, 56,000. Taking advantage of some of the ticket prices and a beautiful evening. And Clayton Kershaw on the mound, along with Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and company. 1 ball and 1 strike. Paulino 1 home run, 10 RBI. And ball 2. Big challenge here. Mattingly, Honeycutt with right-hand pitcher warming up. They stay with Kershaw. Two and 1. 2 and 2. That was a fastball. You can guess the speed. You're right, 93. Paulino is hitting cleanup for only the 3rd time this year, and the crowd now trying to help Kershaw get out of the jam. Two and 2, 2 out, bases loaded, 6-0 Dodgers. 8th inning. There was an off-speed pitch, and Paulino could not catch up. Strikes out with the bases loaded. 9 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw, and for Mattingly and Honeycutt, they stayed with him, and he was through. 6-0 Dodgers. of the 8th inning. In the 6th inning, the Dodgers had 3 doubles when Diana Navarro came up, and Navarro promptly banged one into the right field corner. Carlos Beltran slipped trying to get over there, and as Miles scored, Navarro wound up with his first triple since 2007. So that had to make him feel a lot chipper about things. 3 triples in his career. Meanwhile, Clayton Kershaw made 26 pitches, struggling in the 8th inning. He's made 113, but it looks like he wants to go 9 as Marcus Thames congratulates him on that battle with Ronnie Paulino. Ball 1. Jason Isringhausen making his second appearance. The veteran out of Brighton, Illinois, lives near Tampa, Florida. James Loney up there. Isringhausen worked the 8th inning the other night, made 20 pitches, got through the inning. Foul back. Isringhausen has been around a long time. Born in 1972, drafted in 1991. Went to Lewis and Clark Junior College. He came up to the Mets way back in 1995. Three and 1 to count. And a soft line drive and a nice diving catch by Nick Evans. Deloney a line drive out, 1 away in the 8th inning. Isringhausen has a victory. He got the victory June the 2nd. It was his first win in a Mets uniform since June the 8th, 1999. 12 years in between wins. Back in 1999, every player in each lineup that night, with the exception of Isringhausen, has retired, including people like Ricky Henderson, Robin Ventura, Mike Piazza, John Franco, and for Toronto that day, Carlos Delgado. Pop fly, going out to get it is Turner. Coming in to get it is Pagan, who has the easier play. And we have 2 out in the 8th inning. So here comes Diana Navarro, struck out, flied to left, and tripled. When the Mets come up in the 9th inning, they will have Jason Bay, Daniel Murphy, and Nick Evans. Marcus Thames is out on deck, though you saw him go over and shake Kershaw's hand, and he was also saying good night for the evening to Clayton, apparently. Right. Of course, whether Thames gets in the game depends on what Navarro does, but Kenley Jansen is throwing in the bullpen. 0-1. High bouncer over the mound. Tough play for Turner, and makes the play. Good play by the Mets second baseman. So Thames can go back to say hello to Clayton Kershaw. And we're heading for the 9th inning, and Clayton will call it a night. And at the end Great performance by Clayton Kershaw for 8 innings. Now he walks out having allowed 5 hits while striking out 9. Kenley Jansen is asked to close it up against Jason Bay, Danny Murphy, and Nick Evans. For Kenley Jansen, he comes in with a record of 1-1. ERA's high, over 4.5. 44 strikeouts to 17 walks. Jason Bay singled, hit into a force play, fly to center, 1 for 3, hitting .249. And ball 1. Jansen, in his last 8 innings, has allowed just 1 hit and struck out 9. That's a strike, 1-1. Remember, Jansen reinstated from the DL on the 18th of June, and he's been dynamite. 1-2. Bay with a half a dozen home runs, hit 2 in 1 game in this series. 28 runs batted in, and Jansen has him 1-2. 2-2. And he's following in Kershaw's footsteps. He's throwing 93. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. No runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Mets. Mets really had just 1 look at the game, and that was the 8th inning. And Kershaw had enough in the tank to strike out Paulino with the bases loaded. So for Terry Collins, a job well done to come in here and win 3 out of 4. And as we mentioned, they have a tough road to hoe with Kershaw tonight, Vogelson, Lincecum, and Kane awaiting in San Francisco. And then when they get home, they'll probably get Halladay, Cliff Lee, and then Cole Hamels. Well, they'll be looking at 7 all-star pitches in the next 9 games. Right to Murphy. Hit into a double play, fly to center, single to right. Through 7 innings, the Mets had 1 man get to second base. But it was a tough 1-0 game. That's a base hit to right field until the Dodgers broke it open with a 5-run 6th. Willie Harris will make his 3rd appearance as a pinch hitter in the series.
Attention, please, for the Mets.
Murphy at first, and here's Willie, the kid from Cairo, the birthplace of Jackie Robinson. Willie in the series doubled in the 9th inning last night. In the first game, he grounded out, so he's 1 for 2, and this is his 3rd trip. And ball 1. Harris hitting for Evans. Ruben Tejada due up. He's not out on deck yet. Little foul, out of play. Willie Harris will certainly be remembered for the 2005 World Series. In the game's only run, he brought it home for the White Sox to beat the Astros. And then went home, and it was Willie Harris Day in Cairo, Georgia. Big parade. He rode in the fire engine, had all of his high school teammates in another fire engine. It was quite a while for him to remember. Willie will be 33. In fact, just had that birthday. Originally drafted by the Orioles out of Kennesaw State University. 2-1 the count to Willie Harris. They're not bothering to hold Murphy at first. 2-2. Harris played for the White Sox, the Red Sox, the Braves, the Nationals, and now the Mets. Willie's tops in Major League home runs. He had 13 for the Nationals. That was 3 years ago. 2-2. Ball 3. So that fastball at 95. And a full count to Harris with Tejada on deck. And inside. So Harris draws a walk. Well, for the Mets, they loaded the bases in the 8th inning and came up empty. Now they have first and second and one out in the 9th. Ruben Tejada will be the batter, but not before Honeycutt goes out to talk to Kenley Jansen. Ruben Tejada, I think, shocked everybody. You have to talk to Terry Collins if you had the chance. But there was Tejada at second base, 2 out, 8th inning, and you're down by 6, and you do not have a stolen base. But in his mind, he thought, well, Uribe is deep, and I'll take a shot with Beltran at the plate, and he got away with it. Of course, if he hadn't gotten away with it, he had aged a number of years, but he made it. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Hung-Chi Kuo begins to loosen up. Tejada checking with Chip Hale, and out on deck, Lucas Duda, the big left-hand hitting first baseman. So 2 on, 1 out, 6-0 Dodgers. Whoops. Overthrown, even though that was not any harder than he's been throwing. He's been at 93. But that thing just got away. Kenley Jansen, a big man. He is 6'6" and at least 240 pounds, from Curaçao in the Netherlands Antilles. 2 on, 1 out. And ball 2. So he's suddenly struggling. And ball 3. So an anxious moment. Honeycutt, Hillman, Mattingly. And high, he's loaded the bases. So Tejada draws a walk, and everybody moves up 90 feet. Harris goes to second, Murphy goes to third. Does Honeycutt go to the mound? Nope. He goes to the phone. Lucas Duda will be coming up, and that's why Hung-Chi Kuo is in the pen. Mattingly brings the hook. So the left-hand hitting Duda, he has played first base, and Big Lucas had a double and a single last night. In the game before, he was 0 for 4. And in the first game, 1 for 4. So as Kenley Jansen comes out, Hung-Chi Kuo will be coming in, and we'll be back. The Dodgers leading 6-0. The Mets loaded the bases in the 8th inning and had their cleanup hitter at the plate who struck out. Now in the 9th inning, they've loaded the bases with 1 out. So they've had 6 base runners in the last 2 innings, and they've come up empty so far. Last year's All-Star, Hung-Chi Kuo, trying to recover and get back into rhythm, and he'll be facing the left-hand pinch hitting first baseman, Lucas Duda. Duda went to school at USC. As big as he is, no home runs, 12 runs batted in, and he's played 32 games. The Mets lost their #1 first baseman in Ike Davis. Then they lost Jose Reyes on the DL today. So he's gone for 2 weeks. And then they lost David Wright. So Duda at the plate. Giants beat the Padres 2-1. Barry Zito went 8 to get the win. Oh, and 1 for Duda. Hung-Chi Kuo trying to put him away. Remember, 1 out. Duda is 6'4" and 240. Despite the fact he's a first baseman, he had Tommy John surgery when he was in high school. Check swing foul. Well, he's in a deep hole now. 0-2. Lucas accepted a scholarship at USC. He spent 3 years there before turning pro. Bases are loaded. He has Murphy, Harris, and Tejada out there. 1 out. Yep. Kuo going after him, and at 93 took him 3 pitches to take care of Duda. And the batter now will be Angel Pagan. Well, nothing fancy, just high fastballs at 93, and he couldn't catch up. So now Angel Pagan singled and stole a base, struck out, fly to center, and then singled again. He and Murphy are the only 2 with 2 hits. Down in the bullpen, Javi Guerra. And ball 1. Angel Pagan has 1 grand slam. He hit that in 09 against Arizona. One ball and no strikes. Murphy, Harris, and Tejada out there. Fastball, foul back, 1-1. Hung-Chi Kuo in facing Pagan. In the past, 1 for 6 is Pagan, and he struck out twice. One ball, 1 strike. One and 2 the count. So Kuo trying to turn out the lights here in the 9th inning. With the Dodgers leading 6-0 before a sellout crowd. A reminder, the Padres here tomorrow night. Matt Latos and Chad Billingsley. Fastball, 2-2. Pagan hitting .260. 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Switch hitter. His numbers say he has done better hitting right-handed. His 2 home runs came left-handed. And fouled away. Kuo throwing 90 on that one, 93. Couple of off-speed pitches, 82 and 83. Bases loaded, 9th inning, 6-0 Dodgers. Mattingly a strike away from a win. Will snap a 5-game losing streak. and the Mets' 4-game winning streak. Almost hit him. That was a runaway fastball at 90. So we come right down 3-2, 2 out, bases loaded. Dodgers in the comforted zone, leading 6-0. Murphy, Harris, and Tejada all ready to go. And so is this big crowd ready to go home. Three and two. Runners go. Fastball hit back a third. The long throw by Rodriguez. And that's it. So Hung-Chi Kwo comes in, strikes out Duda, gets Pagan. Mets lead 6 men in the last 2 innings. And the Dodgers 6 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. The Mets, no runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors. Hung-Chi Kwo finished them off on 10 pitches. The 5-game losing streak is history. And now the Dodgers say goodbye to the Mets. Have a good winter. And they'll concentrate on the Padres. Tomorrow night, Matt Latos, and he'll go up against Chad Billingsley here on Prime Ticket. Right now, stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.